Have I ever told you about my dogs? Have I? Have you ever had a dog? Have you? Have I? Have you? Sometimes English is spoken differently than it's written. Let's study together. Hey guys, it's Michael here from Happy English. Thank you so much for joining me for this English pronunciation lesson, where we're going to break down the intonation and sounds of everyday spoken American English. In this lesson, we're going to look at how we usually pronounce have I ever and have you ever. Let's check it out. Have I ever told you about my dog? Have I ever? First, let's take a look at I ever. As I've mentioned before, quite often in spoken English, the end of one word moves over and connects to the beginning of the next word. A lot of English teachers like to call this liaison or reduction or linking. I ever. You'll notice that there's a stop between I ever, right? And if you've been following me here on YouTube, you know that Americans especially don't like to have a stop between each word. I ever, I ever, I ever, I ever. If you pronounce I ever without stopping, there's a little bit of a Y sound that comes up between I and ever. I ever. I ever. I ever. I ever. I ever, I ever, I ever, I ever, I ever, I ever. Keep in mind that this little Y sound is not stressed, and the volume or the intonation kind of comes out like this. I ever, I ever, have I ever. There too, there's a stop after have. So how do we get rid of the stopping sound? Well, the V sound from have moves over and connects with the I sound. Have I, have I, have I. If we put that all together, it comes out as have I ever, have I ever, have I ever, have I ever. And you'll notice that that whole sound is produced in one breath. Have I ever? Have I ever? Usually, when we use that phrase in a question, the stress is on I. Have I ever? 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 Have I ever told you about my dog? Have I ever told you about my dog? Have I ever told you about my dog? Have you ever had a dog? Have you ever had a dog? Have you ever had a dog? You ever. I've mentioned before that you is usually unstressed and is pronounced as yuh, yuh, yuh. You ever comes out sounding like yuh ever. But again, here too, we don't want to stop after each word or after each sound. So, yever, yever. The sound is kind of a blend of those two sounds. Yever, 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 dot, 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 yever, dot, 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 yever, yever, yever. Have you ever? Have you ever? So here too, the V sound at the end of have is going to move over and connect with the Y sound of yever. Have you ever? 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 Have you ever had a dog? Have you ever had a dog? Have you ever had a dog? Have you ever? Have I ever? Have I ever told you about my dog? Have you ever had a dog? Have I ever told you about my dog? Have you ever had a dog? Keep in mind that pronunciation is half doing and half listening, so be sure to watch this video a couple of times to get these sounds of English in your ears. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. Remember to leave your comment below, and I'll catch you guys next time right here at Happy English. Catch you later.